as much as I was reacting yesterday, Goo, in the moment, I was like, oh, this is a great pairing. Look,
Right.
no, Nick Bosa's got a running mate on the other side, guy he played in college with, although I don't think they were actually on the field together at the same time because Bosa had the ACL. Okay. But Chase Young is a great defender against the pass as well as the run. But was that your problem? If you had to identify the things you were least concerned about coming into this season,
man,
D-line's probably at the top.
Yeah, DL and not disabled list. I'll tell you this, Evan. Hearing Peter say that, he's not wrong, man. He's just not. So I'll tell you this. The Bears with Jalen Johnson, by all accounts, there was no price to get him in anybody's uniform. They were holding on to him. But I'll tell you this, and you didn't ask, Evan, I would rather they have gotten somebody on the D-line than a stud quarterback and then rolled the dice that the D-line would get home with what they had, because you could have Dion in the backfield, and if it's 3 to 4 to 5 seconds, it don't matter who it is. The chances of deflecting or intercepting the pass go way down. So they got what I believe will help them figure out a problem. Now, there's a problem on the offense, and that's Kyle's issue. But to me, Evan, this signals all we can do is add more talent. This dude has been a stud when healthy. He has 5 sacks. He could stop the run. So I believe, and why I keep going and defaulting to Wilkes is now I feel like Kyle's like, okay, we went and got another ingredient, an ingredient we thought was on back order that we thought we would never have at our disposal. We got it. Now, here, Wilkes, go make the stew. And if he can't make the stew taste good, then I think they're looking at him sideways because he oversees the defense, Evan, and they're going to say, has Hargrave forgot how to get to the quarterback? Let me remind you his sack total last year. Let me remind you that Bosa was DPOY. Let me remind you that Armstead got cut a check. So have all these guys all at once, I'm asking you, do you feel like they forgot how to get after the quarterback? Because I don't know, but it can't be all of them at once have just, I don't know how to hunt.
Well, that's why it's been so confusing. Like, it's been so perplexing. It's a group of guys that have played together outside of Hargrave, like he's the newest addition, but everyone else has been there for quite some time. Even Drake Jackson, who I know he had 3 sacks in the first game, haven't heard from him since.
At all.
And that's why I think a lot of people are with you, Goo, that it might be coaching more than the players. I personally would put the blame at more the doorstep of the guys making the cash.
Yeah, but I'm mad at that.
But are they being deployed correctly? Like, maybe Nick Bosa is a guy that would rather line up in bull rush or would rather implement more stunts, and he's not getting enough opportunities at that. And Beard on the YouTube chat, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. What it signals to him is that Kyle thinks the coverage and run issues are scheme-related, and it can be fixed with coaching, to your point. On the Comcast Business text line, for the 925, if the 49ers were 8-0, this would be a discussion about, are they bolstering their defense for a Super Bowl run? From the 707, I really believe this is just for depth. They want a ring now. And the way to make sure that you have a pass rush for the playoffs is to be stubborn and sticking with this line. So I'm very curious to hear what people want to do about this or what they think it symbolizes at 888-957-9570.
Evan, real quick before you go there, what if I said to you, because I love the question, and this is what we do, Sports Talk Radio, whatever you think it symbolizes, it doesn't take from what has just transpired. And what has transpired is you got another stud, a former number 2 pick, relatively young, on your D-line. So doesn't it matter now what happens start next week in Jacksonville?
Absolutely.
So that's why I feel like Wilkes is on notice, because Bosa ain't going anywhere. The Hargrave's not going anywhere, right?
Not.
This just gives whoever the power to be more info or things to work with to come down on somebody's head on why the defensive line, or the defense for that matter, is going south. Yeah. If it continues.
And that's a Jacksonville team that's won 5 games in a row, by the way. I see Bob out in San Francisco has been hanging on very patiently. Appreciate you, Bob. You're on with Evan filling in for Steiny, and, of course, Daryl the Guru Johnson. What's up, Bob? How are you?
Oh, fine. As always, a great show.
Thanks.
Thanks, man.
I got like 3 points, really. First off, I love the trade. I think it's going to solidify. See, what Peter King didn't realize, we don't have another edge rusher. We haven't had a guy since Ford, right? So that's really just going to alleviate some of that pressure that Bosa has been double teamed, triple teamed. Then naturally he's not going to have the same kind of numbers, whether he looks good or not. One thing that drives me crazy, though, when they play the run, these guys are always shooting the inside gap, leaving nobody for the corner or the outside linebacker to solidify that area. I think Chase Young is going to do that. He's going to make sure that nobody runs outside of him on his side. And then I was shocked that they got rid of Ebukam, because last year, when you look at his numbers, he was great. So that really shocked me, too. That surprises me. But one last thing I want to say is I like Armstead. I think he's a great guy. But when you're getting your butt whooped in the fourth quarter and you make a sack and you're out there celebrating, that's just a bad look. And that's part of, I think, the mentality of the defense. I mean, you got to, just put your nose to the grindstone and get out there and get the quarterback and make sure you stop and tackle these guys. You'll go out there and celebrate because of a mild achievement, right? So, I mean, that's part of the issue that I got as well. So, anyway, thanks, guys.
No, appreciate that. Valid points. I mean, I think, look, and I'm not trying to be hypercritical about the deal. I think it was a good move by John Lynch.
No doubt.
But it is eyebrow-raising that the one area you identify, so for example, let's go back 365 days. They went out and got Christian McCaffrey, right?
Shocked the world.
They had a problem at running back. Elijah Mitchell showed that he could not stay healthy. He could not stay on the field. And at the time, you just moved off your former third-round pick. Ty Davis-Price had not really been that good. Jordan Mason wasn't ready yet. You were devoid of running back production. Deebo Samuel was probably your best running back entering the trade deadline last year. So you went out and you got the best guy on the market, and you got a guy that fits seamlessly with what you do. I'm not saying that Chase Young doesn't check some of the boxes, but I didn't necessarily look at the defensive line as a place that needed to be addressed to get deeper. I didn't look at it as a place where the issues were primarily coming from. Now, look, I think that they should be better with Chase Young involved in it. But to me, my eyes were on so many different places outside of that spot. And honestly, Goo, I don't know about you, but I feel like the defensive line was a place that was going to correct itself, that could improve internally, more so than any of the other positions that were not addressed in the trade deadline.
Man, Evan, I'm hearing you out loud, man. I agree with you 100%. And again, I don't have my answer. I don't have the answers. I'm perplexed, but at least the organization, to me, Lynch and Shanahan, and every time I would tell you and Steiny, not that I was mad that Lynch would do the Jerry Jones a few times this year, even in Pittsburgh, be on the sideline, former player, Hall of Famer. He wants to win. He's in it to win it. So when they pulled off what they did with McCaffrey, they weren't settling. And then they follow up the next year. All of a sudden now they're having problems on the defensive line. And I'm with you. This was their strength. And just imagine this for a minute. You say go back 365. They went to Philadelphia in the NFC Championship game last year without Hargrave, and the D-line led by that version of Bosa was their strong suit. It set the tone. Mm-hmm. So, again, for people coming down my road, and it's just a few of them, and my boy Hawk, Goo, why you putting it at the doorstep of Wilkes? It's like if my kids are messing up and getting in trouble, the teacher calls the parent. And you're supposed to be the supervision, the supervisor. So that's why I keep bringing Wilkes up. But again, to make this move yesterday, I'm almost like, okay, it's a fresh start, Evan. Forget why they've underachieved collectively on the D-line. To me, up until this point, I would think going into this bye week, you got your new toy, you implement them, and then you wreak havoc start next week, because I don't think we'll ever, and it is a concern, we'll ever get the answers as to why they felt like, not just your boy Chase Young, why they even took a flyer on Randy Gregory, who I'm high on, no pun intended, the hippies. But, why did you feel like you needed that? There are signs behind closed doors, but again, you telling me, I'm just asking you, Evan, and I love you, Bosa's forgot how to get to the quarterback, and all of a sudden his only move is a bull rush? I think that would have reared its head earlier.
Well,
but it didn't.
And look, Cincinnati is a team that's given up a lot of sacks. Like, that O-line is not the Cowboys of the 1990s.
Your boy has 40 yards on the ground.
They don't have Larry Allen up front.
Man.
They don't got Orlando Pace on the left side. Like, that's an offensive line that I would imagine on most days that the 49ers should whip. And they didn't. And especially in the run. Like, the last possession in the fourth quarter where they pretty much just ran it at Bosa the last 3 or 4 plays with Mixon, like, that is something where I don't know how you scheme for that. I don't know if he needs more help. But if a run's coming to your side and you're not setting the edge and you're getting bounced and Mixon's getting outside, like, that's on you.
Man. So, and if you're the guy, and you're Strahan and all the guys that I compared Bosa to, who cares if Jesus is on the other side? If you got a problem with they're coming at you. Mm-hmm. They're running your way. Nobody can help you with that.
And maybe Chase Young can help them with that. Maybe I think he can help them against the run. He clearly has gotten to the quarterback this season.
He can set the edges. He's done it, and I watched a lot of NFC East games. Yeah. He's done it when healthy.